Good morning guys, happy Sunday and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing very well and having an amazing weekend so far. Welcome to day number 6 of Vlogtober. I don't know what I'm going to do once we get past 10 because I haven't got that many fingers, but it's Sunday morning and I'm going to do some baking. I've decided to make cinnamon rolls this weekend. I've been wanting to make these all week. And what I didn't realise is that I actually am supposed to have a dough machine, like a bread machine or a dough mixer at least. So if you're like me and don't have a dough mixer, you've got to be prepared to get your hands messy because we're going to have to do some kneading. We're going to have to put some, muscle work into this. But I thought I'd bring you along for a cosy morning with me making some yummy food. We are heading out for a walk in a little bit and I've got my parents coming over for a roast, so I thought I would get the vlog today out of the way because otherwise I'm probably going to run out of time and I really want to keep up with my streak of getting videos up. So I'm going to do this in sections because we've got obviously the dough recipe, which I'm going to show you first, and then we've got the filling recipe, and then we've also got the frosting recipe. So I'm going to do this in 3 sections just to make it nice and easy to follow. I am actually following a recipe myself, so I will link the recipe down below. It's an American recipe, so I do apologise that everything is kind of in cups, but it's easy enough to convert, or you just buy yourself some of these. You can literally get them. I think I got these ones in Aldi actually, but you can get them off Amazon, you get them online, you can get them anywhere. Literally, there's so many places you can get them now. So let me show you the ingredients that we've got first, and then we'll move on to actually making the dough. Hopefully this turns out okay without a dough mixer, but we will see. Okay, so here we've got 4 cups of bread flour. It has to be bread flour. I have used this one, Allinson's, and then we've got here, this is actually supposed to be granulated sugar, but I didn't have any, so I'm using light brown sugar, so hopefully it's okay. It might turn out a bit wrong, but I've got a 1/3 cup of this, and then I've got 2 eggs. We've got 2.5 teaspoons of dried yeast or instant yeast. I've got a teaspoon of salt. I've just used a really fine one in here. And then we've got a 1/3 of a cup, what's this? Sorry, so it was actually 1/2 cup of sugar, I think. 1 second. Yeah, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Ignore me. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And then we've got a 1/3 cup of salted butter, which I'm going to melt to try and get out of this. But it does say you can either use really soft or melted, so I'm going to melt it a bit. And then the final thing that we also need is 1 cup of warm milk. So I'm going to do that now. Again, it's kind of telling me that I need to have precise temperatures. I don't have a temperature probe, so we're gonna wing it. Hopefully it turns out okay. I mean, it's just home cooking, so I'm sure it'll be fine, but let's go. I really don't know about this, guys. 46, I think that might be a bit too warm. I'm gonna pour this in. 46 degrees is basically what it's told me to do at. I have no idea. But how are you supposed to do this kind of thing without a temperature probe? Or maybe you're supposed to just not. Anyway, so I've got to put the warm milk into your bowl or your stand mixer that's going to have the dough machine for it. And then we put the yeast in. But the problem is, I'm worried that basically if you put the yeast in and it's not cold, if it's too cold, then it won't activate the yeast. If it's too warm, it will kill the yeast off. Sprinkle the yeast over top. Allow this to sit 3 to 4 minutes. The yeast will get a little frothy to show it's activated. I think that would be okay. Okay, yeah, she's frothing. She's frothing. Okay, so I put this in a microwave, I don't know, only just so. 3 to 4 minutes. Let's set a timer and then we'll come back. Okay guys, so I've left this to stand for 3 to 4 minutes and I can't say it's that frothy. I mean, there's a few bits just around here, as you can see. But it's going to do. That will do for me. I put that in the microwave, the milk in the microwave for a minute at 900 watts. So just for reference, obviously you'll know what not to do or what to do, depending on how these turn out. So once you let that stand, we've got to add the room temperature eggs. the sugar and our room temp butter. They say on the recipe that you can put this in the microwave to melt it slightly, so I did just to make my life a little bit easier. And then we've literally just got to beat this together until it's all combined. So I think I'm going to use a wooden spoon because you're supposed to be using the mixer at this point, so we'll see. Okay, I just moved to a whisk because some of my butter that hadn't completely melted it wasn't mixing in properly. So now we need to add the salt and the flour, and then we just beat this together until the ingredients are barely mixed or barely coated. And then you allow the mixture to rest for 5 minutes so the flour has time to soak up the liquids. So you've got 4 cups of bread flour and then 1 teaspoon of your salt. So. I've just mixed it so it looks like this, and then I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes and then I'll be back. Okay guys, it has been 5 minutes and I've just had a quick look on the recipe comments. So there is literally thousands of comments, and even though they said you can knead it in the recipe, like at the top notes, there's no details about how to go about this if you're just kneading it, and I assume that you can't just knead in the bowl. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I've just sprinkled a bit of bread flour because they've said that you can add up to another ½ a cup of flour if you need that to help the dough form. I don't think I'm going to need that, but it's basically said that we want to get this dough elastic and smooth, but it might be a bit tacky. So the dough should be elastic and smooth, the dough should be tacky, and will pull away from the sides of the bowl. It may stick slightly to the bottom. Obviously that isn't going to apply to us if we're just kneading by hand. So let me just see how we can get on. I honestly don't really even know how to knead properly either. I've got a rough idea, but I'm not a bread expert. So let's just see how we go. Okay guys, so I actually kneaded the dough for 10 minutes. It said on the recipe to do it in the mixer for 5 to 7. So I figured with a bit of manpower, it's going to take me a bit longer. And I definitely noticed the difference in texture as I was kneading it. So I think it is ready now. I've just put a little bit of oil. They've asked for cooking oil to be sprayed in here. Again, I don't have that. So I just put some olive oil and swirled it around with some kitchen towel. So we now need to put this into the bowl, cover with a towel, and put in a warm place until it's risen by double. So they said it's probably going to take about half an hour. So I'm just going to leave mine in the kitchen with me, and hopefully it'll work. So we'll see. Okay guys, the next bit is fairly simple. We've literally just got 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and ½ a cup of salted butter. And I'm literally just going to pop these into a bowl, mix them up, and that's going to be our filling for the cinnamon rolls. Okay, this is what we've ended up with. I think it looks right. It doesn't actually say what we're looking for. So cinnamon rolls are just rising. You just would have seen me putting all the cinnamon sugar and everything. So we're just covering these. I've put the oven on 170 degrees fan, and that's just warming up. We wanted this to just sit here for like 20 minutes. I've had a bit of a tidy and I was getting a bit ahead of myself. So in here, I've got the rest of the butter. So I've literally, with all of the butter that I've already told you, I've literally just used one normal cube of butter from the UK, but it's a third cup of salted butter in here and then a whole tub of Philly. So I'm just combining this at the moment. And then what we're gonna do is add in the vanilla extract. It actually says you can add whatever extract you want here. So I feel like if you've got like a pumpkin extract or like maple or something, you could add that in, that would be really nice. But we want half a tablespoon of this, which is quite a lot. So half a tablespoon of this once this is done. And then you want to get some icing sugar, and there's 2 cups of icing sugar that's gonna go in here. So I'm just combining this all up whilst these sit for a little bit longer. And then I'll whack it all in the oven. It's coming together very quickly and it looks incredible so far. These look amazing. Let me just show you a little close up. Look how good they look. Oh, I'm so excited. I really hope they come out well. Alright guys, I'm just doing the final step before they go in the oven. So I've just got half a cup of heavy cream here. You don't actually have to do this, but apparently this makes for really soft rolls. So I've just warmed it up slightly in the microwave. You don't want it hot. And you basically just pour it all over the cinnamon rolls and let it like soak down. And apparently this makes for an amazing like creamy base as well. Creamy and caramelized base. So pop that on, and then we're literally just gonna pop these in the oven for 20 minutes. I said to check it after 20 minutes, see if they're too brown. If they are, put a bit of foil over, and then just for an extra 5 minutes. So you wanna cook for 25 minutes. So yeah, I'll let you know how they come out. All right guys, I'm just gonna give you a really quick taste test. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It does say to wait for it to cool down before you put the topping on. I personally wouldn't do that, guys. I think it's a really nice all melted down and into it. So just a little tip there. You should follow the recipe that I linked down below. Don't wait. Just put the icing on top, or warm it up. Like pop it in the microwave for like a minute or 30 seconds or whatever to warm it up if you let them cool down first, because this is chef's kiss. 100% would recommend. And that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed and I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. And I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.